How you going?
Back with another podcast. It's only been a year since we did our last one, and today we got Byron, one of my students, a recent blue belt. How are you, boss?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you.
I've been telling him we're going to do this podcast for the longest time ever, so glad we're finally doing it.
All good things, man. The anticipation.
I hope it lives up to it. I doubt it. Cool. I did have some things I want to talk to you about, and I've, happened to the list. But I will start with, what made you start martial arts?
It's all down to you, Evie and Seth. Seriously. Right. Evie organised for you and Seth to come and do a demo at our corporate breakup, and I really enjoyed the kickboxing. And then, like 6 months, I didn't talk to you or anything like that. And then I started to go a little bit stir crazy, and I needed something just different outside of my life, something active. And my partner was the one that said, yeah, you spoke about how much you enjoyed the kickboxing, go and do it. So,
yeah, cool.
That's like 6 years ago now, and started off doing 2 hours a week just kickboxing, and then you brought me over to the dark side. So
I know you a bit about jiu-jitsu for a while. I had no interest whatsoever.
The first class was weird.
So it weird. Is, right?
We did collar chokes from the close guard.
Okay.
And I was like, why am I doing this?
Why am I on the ground with a man's legs wrapped around me?
Yep. Why would I ever let myself get into this position, like in a fight or otherwise? But after 6 years, it makes so much sense. But that first class was hard. I did the class, and then I didn't come back to jiu-jitsu for a month or whatever.
Yeah.
You talked me into it, and it's good.
Yeah.
It's good now.
I say, like, there's been a few people that have come in wanting to do just kickboxing, and I say the same thing to everybody that wants to do that. If you're good at kickboxing and you throw a bunch of kicks at somebody in a fight, street fight or whatever, you want to use your kickboxing, and then somebody grabs your kick, throws you to the ground, and beats you up, and then you finally get back to your feet. Are you going to throw another kick?
Yep. And
they always answer, well, probably not. And they're, well, what's the point of learning to kickbox if you're not going to throw kicks?
And
right?
I've experienced that in the MMA sparring. Like Christian or someone catches your kick, puts you down, put the ground and pound you, like, oh, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, exactly, right? So it makes you think, I should be better at grappling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys like Cowboy Cerrone and that would throw kicks and Anthony Pettis with like reckless abandon because they have a great guard.
Yep.
Like a great guard. They submitted heaps of people off their back. So that just opens up, you know what I mean? The possibility of, I don't care if it goes to the ground, I'm good there.
Yep.
That's why Nate Diaz should have always kicked more. Because he's great on his back, as we've seen in his last fight. Off the topic, but anyway. Yeah, cool. All right, so completely out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, hugely. Yep. In fact, to this day, my dad says to me, I can't believe that this is something you're doing. It's just so not you, not something I've ever pictured. So
yeah,
it just blows him away.
Well, that's good. That's good.
So I send him all the team pictures and
picture
of the newspaper clipping that we had recently and things like that. So
yeah, that's cool. Your dad is in
South Africa,
and you are from
South Africa.
Right.
Born, first half of my life lived there.
Yeah.
Moved out here when I was 17.
17, right.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. What were the first biggest changes you noticed?
Food.
Yeah, yep.
Huge food.
How so, if you don't mind me?
A lot of the cultural stuff you can't get here, like boerewors, which is like a type of just long continuous sausage. Ground very coarse. There we would have a braai, which is done with coals. Whereas here it's all gas barbecue.
Yeah.
Just things like that.
Yeah, right.
And then when I came here, for whatever reason, I'm dairy and gluten intolerant when I'm here. So that took a while to get used to.
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
So like over the long weekend, I cut loose a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of chocolate.
Yeah.
Now I've got a cough.
Right.
So
wow.
It's better today, but the last couple of days, my partner was like, "Yeah, suffer."
Yeah. And that happened when you recently went back over there, right? You went a bit crazy on the food and
and then came back here and suffered for it basically. So it's
totally worth it.
yeah, depending on the food, pizza's my weakness.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Pizza is my weakness.
Pizza done much different over there?
No.
No,
It's pretty much
it's
the
very
same.
different in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's why I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much the same. We have I think it's also called Domino's over there, but the branding is totally different, but the pizza's the same.
Yeah, okay.
But I live sort of towards Lake, so there's used to be a place called Windmill Pizza there. They did the best.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't know if they're still open.
Yeah, me either.
Oh man,
So good though.
I've just given them
Free plug.
Advertising. We should.
I would too.
We should ask for some sponsorship, man.
Hook us up. Nah, it's awesome though. I heard it was selling. I don't know what happened. What's going on with it?
Yeah, last time we went past, it wasn't open for business, so
Right.
not sure what's going on.
That's a shame. But yeah. Anyway,
But
good pizza. Everybody loves good pizza.
I moved out here thinking I was pretty confident, like, you guys Australians speak English, I speak English, it'll be fine. But
if you call Australian English, it's kind of...
But yeah, there was some stuff that was that I had to learn. Like there's a piece of equipment called a router.
Mm-hmm.
In South Africa, it's a router.
Right.
So in TAFE, router this,
I can
router
imagine.
that.
Yeah.
And someone in the class turned around and said, yeah, no, that if you're going to work here, you're going to have to learn the right terminology. That means something else here.
Way different, yeah.
And then I work with a guy who uses a lot of Australian colloquialisms, like flat out like a lizard drinking, or I could eat the crutch out of a low-flying duck. I was like,
yeah, all the good ones.
What does that mean?
Yeah, that would be a bit weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So,
yeah, grew up with all that weirdness.
I had to have all those explained to me, yeah.
Yeah, that's fun though. Yeah. What do you think of it?
Living here?
No, I mean, like, well, yeah, but more so while we're on it, the crazy, eat the crutch out of a low-flying duck and all that sort of shit.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Once I understood what he was getting at, I was like, yeah, that makes so much sense. I love it. It's such a fun way to say it.
So the Aussie sense of humour, I guess, is what I'm getting at, like that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I love it. I think it gels very much with mine.
Yeah.
In my workplace, yeah. The humour's great.
Yeah, I hear about your humour. That's so good. Yeah, cool. That's interesting. I didn't even think about having to deal with all those crazy sayings and all that nonsense.
And then it's funny. I've heard other people talk about this. There was a comedian who said it like, two people. Someone's from Marseille, someone's from Paris. You never talk to each other. You go to America and you're like, we're both from France. Woo.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And I get that here.
Yeah.
Like,
you get that when you go to Melbourne. You see someone from Bairnsdale that doesn't even fucking talk to you. You're like, oh, hey, man. You're like, fuck.
Here I get someone who speaks Afrikaans. We're like, yeah.
Yeah.
We gaan het, yeah, goed, dankie.
That's sick, though. Yeah. Does that happen often? Is there much of a...
I see the same people over and over again.
Right.
But, like, you wouldn't probably never look at that person twice, like, out in the real world, but somehow you work out that you can both speak Afrikaans or you both spend some time in Africa and there's, like, this connection. It's weird.
Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. When you're on your trip back there recently,
yep,
you said something about staying in a national park.
We were right next door.
Okay, right next
door. In a private game farm, yeah.
Right, yep. Yeah, that's right. It's probably illegal to stay in a national park, so...
No, they have camping grounds
right.
that are all properly fenced off so the lions can't get in.
Yeah, yep. I was going to ask about that. And something to do with, on that, is that why your cousin told you to take a handgun when you go into the car?
Yeah, he was like, you should take my shooter, was what he said. And I thought he was joking.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, you
so
probably should.
What was the go with that?
The fence between the private game reserve, where they don't keep any of the big five, and the national park where they do, wasn't in great repair.
Big five?
Lion, leopard, rhino, elephant, and buffalo. They're the big five, like the biggest, most dangerous animals.
Right on. Okay.
When you go there on holiday, like that's everyone's goal is to see the big five.
Okay.
You get T-shirts with like
oh really?
It's
heads.
Like it's a big thing.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a thing.
Awesome.
But yeah, the fence.
Can you run through them again for me one more time?
Sure. Lion,
Leopards?
leopard, rhino, elephant, buffalo.
Okay. Right.
All dangerous. They're all known to kill people.
Mm-hmm. No one's keen to go watch a hippo?
Yeah, I don't know why they don't make it on the Big Five, because they probably kill more than...
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to put your life in danger, go find one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And because a lot of people still go down to the river to gather water, you don't even know they're there. They just smash out of the water, knock you out.
Like a crocodile does?
Yeah.
Really?
I was sent a video, my dad sent it to me on WhatsApp, of guys in a motorboat, like a speedboat, and all you see is this like hump of water, and then suddenly you hear the motor kick into high gear, and like they go much faster, and this hippo just
from behind them?
smashes out of the water.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
I didn't know
that is terrifying.
I didn't know they could move that fast.
So fast.
And they got these short, stubby little legs.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, how do they move so fast in the water?
Amazing.
That is crazy. But anyway, sorry.
So the fence wasn't in great repair.
Right.
So they had...
So there's a risk.
They did have lions come into the park eating the ostrich that are in the private park. So they knew they were there.
Why were you there? Knowing that?
Why not? Like, see the other stuff.
I could think of a few reasons. One, don't want to die.
Look, you manage the risk, right? You don't walk around the campsite alone at night. You don't stay places that it's lit.
Rules.
Rules, yeah. You follow the rules.
Do the lions follow the rules?
Absolutely, yeah. They're very...
Really?
No.
Of course not. Of course not.
But
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's still a risk, man. I mean...
It's like living here. There's risks living here.
I didn't get told to hold a handgun before I go to my car.
You don't lift up to pot plants without looking underneath the redbacks and things. You know.
I don't get eaten by a lion, though. That's different.
Yeah.
Go get a little anti-venom. You don't get anti-venom for half of your head missing.
That is true.
That's
good night.
Yeah, it's over.
Good night, Irene.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Nice. That brings me to another point. The difference between, like, the stuff that's going to kill you over there to here.
Yep.
Completely different. Everything here is, like, tiny and
Yep.
whatever and sneaky.
Everything here is like tiny, and I have them in my house.
Yeah.
I know they're there.
Is that the weirdest thing?
Like
what? Yeah.
Whereas there, it's big. Most of them you'll see them coming.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are restricted to the game parks.
Okay.
So
you choose them.
I would probably choose them over the redback, because them, I don't have to worry about them when I'm just kicking around at home. With them, you worry about it when you're in the game park.
Yeah. When you go messing in their territory, that's when
that's
obviously you got to worry about.
Pay attention.
Like going swimming and going, oh, shark. Like, well, yeah. You're in its house.
Exactly.
Right.
Whereas here, you're always paranoid. You never stick your hand anywhere that you haven't visually checked out before.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Did
it take you a while to get used to that?
Yeah, it did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Did you get bitten in the process?
No.
Okay, that's good.
Touch wood. I haven't been bitten by anything yet. But conversely, something I haven't grown out of, which I did in South Africa, but certain people don't do here, is locking doors, and locking cars and things. Like, drives my family nuts that I will walk through a door and just lock it behind me and keep going. And they go around the house thinking the door will be open. They're like, hey, let me in. Why did you lock it? What's wrong with you?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, okay. So it's just ingrained.
It's just, it's muscle memory.
Wow.
Just lock doors, lock windows. I went on holiday to New Zealand and I was just blown away. Someone went into the local store, left the car running so the aircon would stay running, so the car would stay cool.
Yeah.
Even recently, I was walking around town and a delivery driver for the Coca-Cola truck left driver's side door open. The truck was running. He was around the other side unloading onto a trolley. I walked past. I was like,
never happened there?
This would... Oh, no, probably not the second time, because the first time you did it, the truck would just be taken.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It would,
like, you wouldn't...
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are just not as security conscious here, and it's something that really stands out for me. It's weird.
Wow. But do you think there's as much of a need to be?
No, absolutely not.
Which is why they're
not.
Yeah.
But for me,
the idea of,
who's grown up with that, I'm like, man, this is wild.
Yeah, wow. So if you were that minded sort of person, you come here and just be like,
Oh yeah,
I can do anything I want.
the world is my oyster.
Yeah, yeah,
Except the cops here are pretty good, so yeah, probably wouldn't get away with it for very long. So
yeah. Okay, so you probably get away with some stuff over there then.
yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, speaking a little bit about the crime, you've told me a little bit. Sometimes, I mean, you've always heard rumors. Like I've always heard rumors about they encourage you to drive through red lights if certain times of certain areas or whatever, if it's safe.
Yeah, I'd probably say
Is that true?
I wouldn't say drive through it.
No.
But I'd say if you see the light turn red, you take your foot off the gas way back and you like sort of coast along.
Okay.
You don't pull up and stop.
Okay.
Because that's when someone's potential for something to go wrong.
Yep. Because carjackings are pretty full on, yeah.
Carjacking's common. I'd say violent crime is a lot more common.
Okay.
Carjackings, people coming into the house.
Yeah, right.
Because people are so security conscious, they would come into the house while people are there. So
knowing that it wouldn't
force you to open the safe, things like that.
Yeah, right.
Whereas here, I'd say it's a lot more wait for people to leave the house, like cat burglar type stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. So it's a lot more blatant over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's a consequence of high rates of poverty, high rates of crime.
Mm-hmm.
Value of life is much lower. That sort of thing.
100%. Yeah.
But people live there successfully. We would. My dad had his car stolen, but it wasn't a carjacking.
Okay.
A house was broken into, but we never had, like, we weren't there, so
it wasn't like a violent interaction or anything.
Yeah, it was cat burglar stuff that happened to us. People live there successfully. Again, you just manage the risk, like like I said, you lock everything. The windows have got burglar guards on them. High fences, razor wire on top of the fences.
Yeah, I see some of that stuff. Yeah.
It's the old thing. I don't have to outrun you. I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you. So you just make your house look harder to break into. Than the neighbor, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay. Wow, that's interesting.
But like the house has got burglar alarms on.
Yeah.
So house sat for my uncle, and I set the alarm off, and these guys rocked up with weapons. Like,
oh really?
My dad was there, and he just said, "Yeah, look, sorry, teenager, what are you going to do?"
Wow. So like, have a security team show up to sort out the situation? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if the alarm goes off, yeah.
So if you work
response,
so you work for a security team there, it's not like, oh, what happened to your camera? Why did it go off? They straight up immediately send out like a response unit.
I don't know about cameras. I mean, maybe that's a thing since I've left, but definitely the motion sensors in the house would set the alarm off.
Yeah.
The alarm calls back to the security company, and they send out.
And that's what they send out.
Yeah, they send out 2 or 3 guys. Yeah.
And what are these guys armed with?
Look, I can't remember. They definitely would have had sidearms.
Okay.
I'd say just pistols, semi-automatic pistols.
Okay.
But definitely in the banking zones in the shopping malls, there are guys there armed with automatic weapons.
Yeah, I've seen that in Thailand a bit. In the malls as well, yeah.
The first time we went, they'd had a spate of major robberies. So my partner was just blown away that going into the mall, you go through a metal detector.
Yeah,
That's not normal. Like,
no, not here, it's not.
And it's not normal there.
Okay.
It was just at this point in time.
Yeah, right. It's like cop the worst of it. Time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was my partner's first introduction to it. So
right.
And then, down in the banking area, you've got to go through like an airlock system. So you go through one door, magnetically seals, and you're in this little cubicle. And then they open the second door. Yeah.
That is full on.
And then there were armed guards outside and inside. But that's extreme. It's not normally like that.
Yeah, right.
The airlock system is normal, but the armed guards is not.
Yeah, wow.
Cash in transit heists are a big thing there too. They hit
sounds like vans. GTA, but real life.
It's a lot more. It's a lot more GTA than here, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it sounds full on, man.
And
full on.
But you're
just so casual about it, though. You know what I mean? Like, for someone who'd never experienced anything like that, like from here, go over there, it'd just be, this is nuts.
The one thing, actually, that my partner picked up on that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think anything. It sounds callous. I didn't think anything of it, but it really blew her away. As, around Christmas time, they put the death tolls in the paper, and she was looking at them, and she said, "Wow, your annual death tolls are so high. Like in Australia, it's just a fraction of that." And my dad said, "No, that's just for the Christmas period." She was.
That's not annual.
That wasn't annual. That was just the Christmas period, and she was just like blown away.
Whoa. So what in Australia? It's usually like a road toll.
Yeah.
Is that what
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And yeah, she was just floored, and those are just some of the differences. Like,
yeah, right. So whereabouts in South Africa are you from?
I'm from Durban.
Okay.
On the east coast.
Right.
Good beaches.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Yeah, so we're sort of sandwiched between the sea and the Drakensberg Mountains.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So a lot of rain.
Yep.
In Indian Ocean, so warm ocean.
Yeah. Nice. Actually, sounds pretty bloody good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is pretty sick. Let's get back to some martial arts for a minute. We'll get back to that though. There's a few other things I'd like to talk about. Jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Yeah. Has that... Because I get this from a lot of students, especially students that never really wanted to do it. And then after a little while, it's kind of creeps into their everyday life in certain ways, mentality maybe, an outlook, perspective, for example. People become... Like it's... A lot of people say if you want to get good at being under pressure and just good at dealing with anything in life, get good at jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Because it's constant problem solving under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Has that... Do you think anything like that has had an effect on you, confidence-wise even?
It's definitely being in the gym has helped with people skills.
Okay, yeah.
I wouldn't say jiu-jitsu specifically.
Yep.
But definitely
Oh,
being in the gym.
okay, so I guess the whole experience, the whole part of being the team, all that thing. Yeah.
I was always much better with things than people. I work in IT.
Okay, yeah.
Machines, I've always been better with machines than people, but over the last 6 years, 10 years, what I do is becoming more and more about people as you kind of go higher up in your work, and that idea about leadership, and the little bit of helping out I do in the gym, like
you do more than a little
into
bit,
that.
but yeah.
Just as a really specific example, when someone new walks up the stairs that we haven't seen before, going over.
Yeah.
Introducing myself.
Dude,
how you
kill
going?
it.
Have you filled out the paperwork?
Yeah,
what are you in for? What's your experience?
Yeah, you're the man.
My what I would prefer to do is be the guy that comes up the stairs and go, "Yeah, here you go." Like just go and roll in there. See you later.
Yeah.
So taking that like front of house almost kind of role is that helps a lot.
Yeah, you've been really good at that too.
Learning that stuff.
Teaching the beginners.
Yeah.
The day one stuff. Some of that. Have you found that?
It's you've got your communication skills have to be really on point.
Yeah,
you just do a backwards roll. Yeah.
This helps me.
You just do a backwards roll. Look, you try and vocalize the activity. So
it's hard too. The further you get away from the day one, the worse that gets. Unless you're teaching day one people like a lot.
Yep.
Like I have other guys pointed out to me sometimes. I'll be showing something and I'll be like, "You didn't even mention that you moved your hips there."
Yep.
Just because I do it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot to, and then you don't want to overwhelm the person.
Yeah.
With every single little detail. Like it's, I find it really interesting. But I did also find that, man, it has helped my jiu-jitsu incredibly by teaching. Yeah.
I had that in high school.
Right.
The guy sitting next to me in class wasn't as good at certain things as I was. So I was just talking about it, trying to explain things, and it made a huge difference.
Yeah, okay.
I definitely understand what you're saying about how much it helps to relay the information to someone.
Yeah. A lot of it comes out of that though, because you've got to make sure that you're giving them the right information. So you've got to make sure that what you know is on point.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You got to give it to them in the best order, which should be, you should be doing things in that way anyway. And,
yep.
makes you think when they ask questions. I love questions in class. You know, I ask people all the time to throw questions at me. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. So the more you can get them to do that, the more you're forced in the moment. You know, to
Put you on the spot.
100%. Yeah. The best way to learn to swim, buddy, is jump in there. So I think you're doing a fantastic job with it, though. You've definitely got a more welcoming demeanor than myself. You and Riley. So yeah, it helps a lot. Yeah. The yin to my yang in the gym.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's cool. And a blue belt. How do you find being a blue belt? Quite the fresh blue belt.
I don't know if it's really even sunk in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
How long's it been? Sorry.
A few weeks.
Yeah, it's only been a few weeks. It hasn't been long.
No.
Yeah.
But like we've spoken about it a lot before about growing into it.
Yeah, 100%.
So
it bears a lot of weight, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that's how you're going to look at it.
Yeah. It probably helps that we've spoken about it before now, that like my mindset was already, you'd almost worded me up to that a little bit, so that helps. But it feels weird putting it on. Like tying the belt feels weird.
Yeah. I remember when I got striped on my blue from Ninos, and then I went to headquarters, and I jumped in where I would usually stand in the line, and they just kept pushing me along. I was like, oh, look at me, yeah. So that sort of stuff gets a bit, you know, it's fun. But it's weird. I found it weird anyway. I found it like, really? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're looking at it like, really? And I do that now with the purple belt. Like, it's the same thing. I look at it like, I don't know. It's weird.
I've heard it called, like for me, the way I feel about it, I've heard something called imposter syndrome.
Yeah, 100%.
And that...
that waiting for someone to realise that you're not really the blue belt. No.
Yeah.
No, you're a blue belt, sir.
And at work as well, like in there in the managers' meetings, like, I'm just waiting for them to go, get out. You don't know what you're talking about.
Nah, you could have that confidence in yourself, buddy. Absolutely.
Outwardly, absolutely confident. Inwardly, I'm like, oh, man, what are you doing?
But I don't know. I think people like that feel like they've always got something to prove, if you will. Not prove, but
improve.
Improve. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Yeah, those people get real good real fast.
Yep. It helps. It's motivating.
It is, yeah. I've been that way forever. I don't know why, but yeah. It's always been very, I got to do this. I can do that better. I'm going to do this better.
Comes from my dad a lot too.
Yeah.
He always used to say, you know, if you're not going to do it right,
don't do it.
Don't do it.
100%.
Take pride in your work.
Yeah. Good advice.
Yeah.
Very good advice. Yeah. That's how I feel why I won't teach certain things.
Right.
You know what I mean? Disciplines and whatever. Like I've dabbled in, gone to Thailand and trained and whatever, but I won't go go train Muay Thai, teach Muay Thai specifically.
Okay.
I just, that's a whole thing to get into that I don't have time. And I feel it just obviously deserves the respect to do that. You know what I mean?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just...
I think you've got your hands full with boxing, kickboxing, MMA, jiu-jitsu in the gi, jiu-jitsu.
Well, I'm not doing jiu-jitsu in the gi at the moment.
Okay.
I renounced my gi. Sorry, Ninos. I'm just not... I tried for so long.
Yep.
I don't know. I started as an MMA guy and no gi. I started that way. I first seen Bas Rutten instructionals and thought that made so much sense to me.
Yep.
Everything he did. And I figure what you can do in the gi, what you can do no gi, you can do in the gi as well. Maybe not as effectively, but it's still there.
If we could just get some lapels sewn onto the rash vest, I'd be happy.
Is that all you miss, huh?
Just something to hold on to.
Yeah. Well, there's grips.
Yeah.
Just got to learn them. And all my original guys were all like no gi crazy as well. Like, you know, Charlie and Seth and all those dudes. I don't know. I kind of... Yeah, I don't know. Just, it's faster. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chalk and cheese.
Yeah, I think so.
They are very
different. I don't even personally like to call it Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when it's not done in the gi. Like, it's just submission grappling. I mean, if you look at, like, ADCC, which is a mixture of, wrestling, sambo, Jiu-Jitsu, everything, it's just grappling.
Yep.
Just submission grappling. So, that's how I see it. Yeah. I think Jiu-Jitsu was taught in a gi. yeah, that's how it should be done. Yeah, I don't know.
We roll when you roll with some of our guys here who prefer the gi.
Man.
You hear that death noise, then undoing the lapel. You're
That's exactly what that is. Like, shit. Yeah,
protect your neck.
Yes, bad things are about to happen. 100%. Yeah, I don't even mess with that no more. Like, you guys can keep it. I got a whole other world of, like teaching leg locks at the moment. People are just like, they don't know what they're looking at.
Yep.
So that's enough for me to keep, you know what I mean, interested, as well as not interested, focused. If I try to take on teaching the gi as well at the moment and do it like you said, if you're not going to do it right,
yep,
that's why I'm not doing it. Those boys are so passionate about it. The people will get the most out of it through them, not me.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I do. So
that's why, same with Muay Thai, like I was saying, if I can't completely commit to it, I'm not going to touch it.
You spread yourself out too thin.
100%. Yeah. I mean, there's so much to. I mean, you got class planning, right? You got to come up with all that sort of stuff. I'm teaching 2 boxing classes, 2 kickboxing classes, 2 MMA classes, and 2 no-gi classes every week.
Yep.
I'm not adding anything out. Oh, actually, I am.
There's all the fight prep.
Oh yeah, and then there's running a business.
Yep.
And
events.
Yeah, events, commentary.
Yep.
Podcast. Yeah. And everything else too is more stuff. But I don't know. Again, it goes back to what we were talking about before though. Like, I just gotta stay busy. What's next? Improve. Yep. What's best? Yep. What's best? What can I do now? What can I do now? I've always been that way. So yeah, this is just, I don't know, maybe I've got ADD or something. I don't know. I've never been tested for any of that shit, but yeah, I can't just not do anything.
Yep.
I've got to be engaged all the time. Yeah. And I'm in a position where I can do it with what I love and get paid for it.
That is awesome.
So that's why I have no issues working as hard as, to do with this stuff.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's what I've done. My hobby is my work.
Beautiful. Yeah.
But the downside is then your hobby is your work, right?
Yeah, well, that's it, man. Like, I stopped working in kitchens for that reason because I love cooking.
Yep.
But I get home and be like, I ain't cooking shit. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to do it. But that's the old saying too. Like, you go to a Sparky's house and like the
lights never work.
Yeah.
Plumber's taps are always dripping. Yeah.
You're all over it.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah. That's not happened with fighting, believe it or not, with combat sport. I watch it for fun. I watch a lot less of it now, though. I honestly do. Like, we were talking the other day in the mats, and a bunch of people was like, "Oh, you watched the Whittaker-Vittori fight?" I'm like, "Oh, no, I haven't watched it yet." Then they mentioned another one. I was like, "Shit, I haven't watched that one either." Like, I just don't.
You're becoming a connoisseur. You pick the eyes out of it, maybe.
I don't know. I think what happened is because we've been real busy with competition this year. I've been so focused on the local scene.
Yep. That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, I've been so, right, who are we fighting?
Yeah.
I've got so much to think about there and keeping an eye on those fights.
Yep.
But what I did find was I always went back to watching boxing.
Okay.
Always. It was my first love.
Is that because you're a bit more involved in that scene at the moment, you reckon?
Nah. No? Even the whole time, I've always watched more boxing than anything else.
Yep.
Yeah. On my, like, YouTube channel, if I got, like, MMA, my boxing thing is just massive.
Yep.
And there's multiple ones of them. One's on Just Fighters, and yeah, I don't know. I just started with boxing when I was young, and I've just always loved boxing, and I don't know. People find it boring. I think once you get to a certain point, you get educated in it, you see exactly what's happening. It's very stressful in a good way. Like, it's very high stake, like one little mistake type deal,
Yep.
So with MMA, you can be a pretty shitty striker and still have success. Look at Ben Askren. The dude went 30-0 or something and didn't learn how to strike. He admittedly goes, I just learned how to defend strikes so I could get him to the ground.
Yep.
Look what happened. You fought that Paul dude and got knocked out or whatever in like a round or some shit. I don't know. In boxing later on, like, you just cannot strike. So you've got a lot more leeway, in my opinion, in MMA to get away with stuff.
Yeah. Like we've said before with boxing, everybody's got the same weapons. It's a very narrow field of weaponry. It's about how you use it.
100%. Everyone has the same tools.
Yep.
And they don't have that in MMA. Some guy can have great kicks, and jiu-jitsu. Some guy can have great hands and good wrestling, but in boxing, it is what it is. Same with jiu-jitsu, I guess. Anything else outside of MMA is probably a good example. But boxing, for some reason, not necessarily jiu-jitsu, because even then you can be good at having a good guard, but you don't have to be good on top.
Yep.
Or this or whatever, you
might be really strong inside control, but your mount's a bit sloppy, whatever.
But boxing, again, it comes down to these.
Yep.
And I mean, there's different styles in boxing. You can have better feet. You can have power. This guy doesn't. There's obviously still variables, but I think it's a lot fairer a competition if you look at it that way. It's a lot more honest. Not the business side. Not the business side. The competition itself seems, just to me, is a lot more honest and technical and strategic, because it comes down to strategy when you have the same tools.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A lot more. To fine-tune, when you're an MMA guy or whatever, you're spending some time on your hands, some time on your kick, some time on your wrestling, sometimes. These guys are just doing boxing.
Yep.
So they're so good at it. It's like watching just kickboxing as well. It's the same thing. It's so good. And you go watch an MMA fight and you're watching kickboxing, you're like, it's all right.
Just sit down.
Stay
to the ground.
And then the guys that are really good, they, people like commentary, they're like, world class. Like, no, settle down. Settle down. Just because he's good in here doesn't mean he's a world class kickboxer. But
also we've spoken about how, depending on the style of grappling that's taking place, it can get kind of boring.
Oh, 100%. Like, I think even Hickson Gracie himself said he doesn't watch gi matches.
Yep.
And I'm not here to rag on the gi or anything. Again, that's probably... yeah, I'm going to cop a bunch of shit for this. No. But realistically, if you don't know... That's... Okay, so it's like the pub thing when you're watching UFC.
Yep.
Get off the ground.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's stupid shit. It's just because they don't know what they're looking at. It's the same with boxing. The same with jiu-jitsu, the same with everything. Those little intricate, you can't see on the inside and whatever, to someone who's super educated, well, Hickson is obviously, but even he finds it boring. I think he said that on Rogan's podcast, but styles make matches, man. You can have exciting gi matches.
Yep.
It just depends on the style, I think. Yeah. But no gi is almost always exciting because it's fast, a lot more scrambles, transitions and things, and... The rule set's different. Usually now, these days, there's a lot of just sub only, which I think's the way it should be done.
Yep.
Yeah. So it depends. But I guess the same can be said again about boxing. Styles make matches. Apparently, like the last Canelo Triple G fight was lackluster compared to the other two, but it was a technical battle as well. So people like, they shit on Floyd and the way he fights. Oh, you ran away from Pacquiao. No, he strategically boxed the shit out of him and didn't get beat up like everybody else if you fought Pacquiao. You know what I mean? So if you can appreciate what he does and you understand what you're looking at, then the appreciation's a lot easier.
Yeah.
So the same goes with the gi and whatever else.
And you kind of narrow your audience too.
Yeah.
If you have to appreciate it to enjoy it, then your audience slims down.
That is true. That is true. What I did find, though, was crazy, the ADCC on the weekend. Man, what an educated audience for grappling.
Okay.
I've seen, like, I started doing the MMA, I was first introduced to it and watched jiu-jitsu and stuff, 20 years ago plus.
Yep.
And to see what I seen last weekend was crazy. Like, you could be in, in a position a dude gets his foot loose and the crowd goes nuts.
Nice.
I was like, wow. How far has this come? People know exactly what they're looking at, and that crowd's growing. So that's pretty exciting. You get that in Japan actually a lot in MMA, and you have for a long time.
Yep.
Because they're dead quiet while they fight. They don't make a noise.
Okay.
It's the weirdest shit. It's really crazy. They're very respectful and they just watch the competition. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. You can hear every shot and everything in the corners, and it's pretty sick. It's like during COVID, I loved the fights. They were amazing. You
Yep.
could hear everything. You could hear the corners. You could hear the punches. You could hear everything. It was great. You could hear the shit talking.
Yep.
In the fights. It was fantastic. They should do more of that again. But yeah, in Japan it's the same thing. It's just dead quiet. And then when somebody would like get their leg out of half guard or something, the crowd would go nuts. I was like, wow, this has come a long way.
Yep.
You know, it's really cool. Yeah, I don't know where it's going, but yeah, it's very educated. I like to. That was the idea of starting, like, you know, a gym here as well, was to just educate people about MMA.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was important to get ahead of the curve when I moved back. So by the time everyone learned what the UFC was, there was already a place to do it.
And it is so different. Doing MMA sparring, huge difference.
What do you find so different about it? In comparison
Yeah.
to like just kickboxing or doing just jiu-jitsu?
Physically, more demanding.
Mm-hmm.
The grappling on the ground when there's punches involved, just way more demanding. Defending yourself and trying to get up. And like you said, if you're not on point with your kicks, someone can eliminate half your arsenal by you throw that kick and they just consistently put you down with it. You don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And because you got to defend yourself, you got to cover up in order to get back to your feet, or
Like in the grappling situation?
Yeah, in the grappling situation, because you uncover yourself and
You pay for it.
eat a knuckle sandwich. That's right.
Yeah. So it's fun to get the gi guys in to a ground and pound class just to see where they're at. There's a thing called the alio filter,
Right.
which is basically, to my understanding, it's how they would determine what would work, what would be eligible to make it into the system, the Gracie system.
Yep.
Okay. So basically, if it was something where you were vulnerable, you know, didn't make it. Right. For example, Eddie Bravo showed Hickson the rubber guard,
Mm-hmm.
okay, which is designed for MMA, right? It's designed to deal with punches and stuff. Hickson stacks him and starts pretending to knee him in the spine.
Yep.
Right. You can't do that in the sport, so it's still valid. You know, the rubber guard, I think it's actually really good for MMA. But in the street,
On the streets, yeah.
it wouldn't have passed the alio filter.
Yep.
You know, so I think it's important. I try to, when I teach, go, oh yeah, but you can get punched in the face here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just remind everybody, you know, when someone throws you on your back in a fight, you can't just start reaching up and grabbing their collars. You know what I mean? So it's important to be aware of that shit.
Mm.
That's all. So that it's good that you do MMA classes and a little bit, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, we draw that distinction between the sport versus
100%.
defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Think straight, train sport.
Yep.
Yeah. So you want to train safely, but you want to think like, okay, that could happen.
I'm not just going to pull guard in the pub.
That's why I tell all my guys never, ever, 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 ever pull guard in an MMA fight.
Yep.
Ever. The only situation you do that is if the guy's beating you up on the feet and you can't wrestle him to the ground.
Yep.
That would be the only time. Like if there's absolutely no other way to get ahead. It's your only option. But and you see it sometimes. But you want to be really good at jiu-jitsu. You can go pulling guard. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I'd never do it. Glover Teixeira lost his. He was winning.
Mm-hmm.
And he jumped pull guard. That was a championship fight, man, at the highest level. Still did that shit.
But also interesting, you were talking earlier about working on footlocks.
Yep.
The fight I watched at your place, guy was working on footlocks, got his face punched off.
Yeah, 100%.
So-
They don't really work. Well, I don't want to say that. I'll get yelled at. Okay, they can work in MMA, but you definitely got to know what you're doing.
Mm.
You got to know where to attack and when not to, and where. Or you got to be really educated.
Yeah.
And really good at it.
Because you're tying your hands up down there.
100%. You're
leaving
committing
yourself open.
everything. Yeah. So if you can come up with something, you know, if you have a system, I should say, that traps the hips and whatnot where they can't sit up and reach you and you can just start attacking, then fantastic.
Mm.
I'm positive there's systems out there like that, but it's one thing to train that and then do it for real when someone's really trying to punch your face off. It's very different.
Yep.
Which is the reason Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is so effective, because that's how they invented it. It was like, oh, we've got this new move we've made up. Let's go get in a fight with, Japan's greatest judoka and see if it works.
Yep.
No rules fight or whatever. Like, yeah, it's pretty crazy. So it was actually born in the fire, not just if you hit this person at this time, this should happen or whatever, So it is very practical in that way, which is good. That's what should be done. But yeah, you definitely can't let people think that they can just go ahead grabbing clothes and there's not going to be a headbutt coming your way or something.
Collar choke.
Yeah.
Yep.
Eye pokes. All sorts of things.
It's against the rules.
Yeah.
Smash a bottle.
Yeah, that's it. It's like somebody starts to fight. All right, let me stretch.
Get his friends to hold you down.
It's just, people. I mean, look, the sport in itself is good, and I always say that about, like, say, Taekwondo. There's definitely things you can take from it and use and whatever. And the sport in itself is cool. In its own right is cool. But I just wouldn't teach people to stand there and bounce around with their hands down. In a real fight.
Yep.
So yeah, you got to keep it real, man. Keep it real. But you gotta. I think you're doing a disservice to whatever you're teaching, whatever style you're teaching. If you don't, you're watering it down, and that's bullshit. You can't do that.
Yep.
That's what happened to karate and all that stuff. That's why it gets joked about and whatever, because you got all these McDojos that just want to make money and give you a belt. Like giving out junior black belts here, you're a black belt at 10 years old.
They all saw Karate Kid when it came out in the 90s.
Think about that, a black belt at 10 years old. What the shit is that? Like that, go away.
Yeah.
There's your black belt. Right? So where is it to go from there? Like that's supreme confidence in something that's not going to work. Rogan said that shit himself. He said, he was a national champion or whatever the fuck. And then went and did a kickboxing class, got his ass whooped. He goes, I spent my whole life getting really good at something that sucks.
Yep.
I'm not shitting on traditional martial arts. There are a lot of real martial arts out there, like certain karate guys and whatever styles that are just bad dudes. Like crazy conditioned and just hard fucking guys, man, that just kick a hole in you, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Absolutely. But what I'm getting at is that they do, as soon as you start taking out that hard work, that hard, you start killing it.
It's that will to
100%
to kick your legs off, like kick a hole in you.
Yeah.
Probably someone who's competed too. Someone who's got that drive, that instinct, that.
I just think they're making it too easy for people to go and get a belt in these traditional martial arts. Like there's, if you want to keep, like that's why jiu-jitsu is still so effective.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you take the karate shop at the mall black belt versus jiu-jitsu black belt, there's levels to black belt right there. And then you go get a good jiu-jitsu black belt. You know what I mean? And the difference is we get to go 100% every day.
There's that guy on YouTube who's trying to sell me a pamphlet. He got his black belt in 2 years in jiu-jitsu, so
people have done it, but they're the exception.
Yeah, probably wouldn't want to pick him as our front man.
But I'm just saying, like, Kit Dale got his, BJ Penn, all these guys got theirs in under 5 years, and under 3 years and stuff. It can be done. But on the regular, I just mean like somebody wants to open a martial arts school, they realize the traditional way of doing things is too hard for the average person, so they dull it down so they get more people in their gym.
Yep.
That hurts the art. That's what I'm saying. The good thing about jiu-jitsu is you can go 100% every day. It's honest every day.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then, there's no escaping that. As opposed, like even in boxing, or unless you're a serious boxer, or kickboxer or Muay Thai, whatever, you can't go 100% every day.
Yeah,
you can't.
But
you can in jiu-jitsu.
In jiu-jitsu, you just spend a long time sucking before you start to find your feet,
because it's real. You're meeting full resistance, full reality.
Yep.
You're not meeting that. Oh, I nearly got you. That's you know what I mean. It's not the same. That's why someone can look like an animal in the gym and go and get in a fight and just freak out and lose it because they're not used to someone coming after them with that actual, tenacity. So big difference. That's why I'm very excited to see Christian fight in the cage. It's going to be real cool.
He's done all right in the boxing ring.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's doing well. He's one of those guys who always have to do better. Yeah, that's good. Wow, it's almost been an hour, brother.
Wow.
And it's crazy.
We do this on the phone too.
We do. For hours, so we thought we might as well do it here. Yeah, crazy. I can't believe that's been 50 minutes. We'll keep going, though.
That's all right.
I don't have to be anywhere. So that's cool. Does my mic works? Yep. It's cutting out, I think. No, we're good.
We're good.
There we go. I wish I had my list of my questions. I had some good ones for you, buddy. I did. I had some really cool ones. I'll have to do it again, though. We do a bunch of these now that we're set up in the gym.
Was there a particular sandwich we were going to talk about?
Oh, yeah, man.
That I'd never heard of before, by the way.
Gatsby
sandwich.
Yeah.
You showed me a picture.
Yeah. Looks pretty badass. I can't believe you never heard of it. Evie was streaming, and one of her viewers was from South Africa.
Yep.
And she mentioned something about this podcast coming up, and she said, what should we talk about? And he straight up, first thing he said was a Gatsby sandwich, and then you're like, what the fuck's a Gatsby sandwich? So you're going to have one.
I have to look that up,
Yeah.
Get my dad to go and get one. Then
I was
he
about to
sends
ask
me
that.
pictures.
Yeah, I was about to ask that. Get your old man to check it out.
He's always doing that. He goes out, somebody's like,
really?
Nice fat steak and a beer, or there's a restaurant chain called Wimpy.
Yeah, right. I think you told me about going there with the family.
Yeah, it was like a Sunday breakfast thing.
That's awesome.
So I called him on Saturday to talk about something. He's like, yeah, we're getting ready to go out. Guess where we're going? Yeah.
You miss it?
I miss my family.
Of course.
Yeah, that's like the place. Not
things
could go either way.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's the people.
Yeah,
it's the family.
Yep. Cool.
And if we could just get a Wimpy's to open here, then my
I'm
life
gonna
would
look
be
it
complete.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get a franchise?
That'd be good, wouldn't it? What kind of stuff do they serve?
They do like breakfasts, burgers.
I keep sinking down into this couch, man. I'm gonna have to get a table because I'm just gonna hurt my back.
They do like breakfasts and burgers and toasted sandwiches, coffee.
Oh yeah. It's like a diner.
Yeah, like a diner, and even the decor is like a diner. They've got those booth seats.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So yeah, if we maybe we have the gym upstairs and the franchise downstairs.
There's a vacant spot.
Yeah, bring in the money.
If anyone's interested, there's a vacant spot down there. That would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Probably not good for us, but
you want to make sure you go down after, not before.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. What was the other one? I can't pronounce it.
Cook Sisters.
What you said. How do you say that?
Cook Sisters.
Oh, just Cook Sisters.
Cook Sisters.
Oh, I thought you were saying something else.
No.
Some crazy shit. I said that the other day and you sort of laughed at me. I was like, oh, so it's not that.
It's that with an accent, basically.
Is that how you pronounce that other sandwich thing? What was the dough? The
Fett cook.
Right.
That's like...
Is that the one? Not the one fried in...
Cook Sisters are fried in golden syrup.
Okay.
They're a sweet thing, and then Fett Cooks...
That sounds badass.
But a little bit more savoury.
Yeah.
You can get different stuffings in it too.
Yeah, that's the one I think I've seen.
Yep.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But my partner is learning to make stuff. My dad sent her a cookbook.
Yeah, cool.
So there's a casserole dish called a babuti.
Right.
And it's a Cape Malay dish, so it's really spicy.
Okay.
Not hot spicy, like a huge variety of spices.
Yeah, right.
And then the top of it's got it's like egg that's whipped.
Right.
It's almost like a bechamel sauce, but a bit firmer. And then that goes over the top, and she makes that from scratch. Right. That's amazing.
Yeah, cool. Is there any places like you when you go to Melbourne or anything that you can go? No? Really?
We just cook at home. We've got the cookbook.
Have you looked for any though? Like do you know if there's any about?
Honestly, I haven't looked. I order online. I order biltong and boerewors online, get that delivered.
Right.
And there's like certain confectionery and sandwich spreads and
So you
things
do
that we get
like
delivered.
bits and pieces and remind you of home and whatnot.
Yeah, my dad
cool.
sends chocolates.
Yeah, cool.
Just certain things that we don't get here.
Yep.
There's one called a PS, which is like a caramel chocolate. It's got wafers of like biscuit wafers in it. That's really
You have
good.
to bring some to the gym, boss.
Yeah, they won't make it here.
Oh, really? Smash them.
You smash them. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
So yeah, my dad sends stuff, and I order some things from Melbourne. But yeah, in terms of food, like hot food, no, we just cook at home.
Right. Well, if we go to the city at some time, at the same time,
Yep.
we'll find a place.
Supposed to find someone.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll see what I can handle. Is a lot of it spicy? A lot of spices and stuff.
It depends what side of the country you come from. Like,
okay.
But yeah, the Cape Malay stuff has lots of spices, very fragrant.
Yep.
There's a very big Indian population in Durban, so you can get lots of curries. Something that we get there you don't get here. It's called bunny chow. No rabbits.
Confused.
It's half a loaf of bread. So take a loaf of bread, cut it in half, scoop out the soft bits. So you're just left with the crust.
Yep.
And then you pour your curry and everything in that, and then like jam the soft stuff back on top.
Right.
So you can. The idea is like that's a lunchbox basically.
Yeah.
You just walk around with that.
That's cool.
And then you eat out of the bread.
Yeah.
You just like break the bread off and scoop the curry out of the middle of it.
Bloody good idea.
Bunny chow. They are amazing.
What are they called?
Bunny chow.
Bunny chow.
Bunny chow. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So that's really good. And like again, that's something Jay made.
Yeah. Okay.
At
cool.
Christmas, but instead of curry stuffing, she did like a creamy, cheesy kind of stuffing.
Kind of like
in a cob loaf.
That's yeah.
She read the recipe out of the book, and she's like, "Oh, we do an Australian kind of version of that."
Yeah. That's it. I've never actually had a cob loaf, but everyone says it's shit.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that's interesting though with curry. That's a good idea. Absolutely. Yeah. Cool. You have to come and cook me some food one day, buddy.
So
sounds of this sounds
really
amazing.
Really big Indian population. So we like samosas.
Yeah. Okay.
Roti.
Yeah.
Lots of curries. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Sounds good. Evie hates curry, but I'll eat it. I'll pay for it because I get real bad indigestion, but I'll do it.
Yeah. No, I don't. I'll pay for it. I don't cook curry myself.
Yeah.
I've tried a few times and I don't know. I just get the spices wrong.
Yeah.
Follow the recipe guide.
No, when I say I pay for it, I mean
right. Pay for it after.
Yeah, my stomach, dude. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I get bad indigestion for that stuff. But yeah, that sucks. Interesting. Are you planning on going back home at any point? Again, I know you just come back from there, but
next trip out here will be my dad's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he'll be here on Easter.
Oh, sick.
So
yeah, cool. You bring him up here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be
like
awesome. We'd love to meet him. That would be sick.
Show him what we
Prove that you're not just putting up photos and
photoshopping myself in.
No. Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be awesome, man. I bet I won't understand anything he says though. I'm real bad for accents, man. Like, I never used to be. I don't know what happened.
It's more people from up north that have a broader accent. I think you'll be fine.
Okay.
I think
you think I'll be fine?
Just don't use any Australian slang, crazy Australian.
I'll try
slang.
not to. Yeah, you got to teach him some before he gets here.
I don't even know. I wouldn't even know where to start.
What do you mean?
You just have to throw him in the deep end, see how he goes.
Where would you? Okay. No, just find some and just start.
Find some. Yep.
Drip feeding him to him before he comes here.
Before
so
he
when
comes.
he gets here, he's all about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he doesn't have the same problems that you had. It's a router.
I want him to have the same problems. Then I'm on the inside of the circle and I can laugh.
That's true.
You know.
That's true. You can set him up.
Yeah, that's it.
For all the jokes. Yeah, that's cool. Do you have any other family that live over there?
Yeah, my dad, uncle, 4 cousins.
Yep.
The boys are older. They've just got married. They're having kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So quite a lot
of
people.
catching up to do when you go back there, and
Definitely.
yeah, awesome.
Yep.
That's cool.
But we're pretty well spread out. Like I've got family in America, England.
Really?
My brother's in Denmark.
Have you done much traveling?
I did when I was younger. My mum worked in the Middle East, so we'd go places to catch up for holidays.
Cool.
So, and then travelled in Africa with Dad. We went to Tanzania.
Oh, wow.
When I was younger.
Tanzania.
Yeah.
Tanzania.
Same place.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I've never heard it pronounced that way.
Okay.
Tanzania.
Yeah.
Is that how it's actually pronounced?
No idea.
Really?
That's just
You don't
how
know.
I say it.
If
No,
you don't know, then we're fucked. I got no idea. Tanzania is what I always heard. Okay. That's probably going to happen a lot. You're probably going to like pronounce, places. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, so my partner makes fun of me. I'll give you this one. My partner makes fun of me because here it's an emu.
Uh-huh.
The U is pronounced the same as in ambulance.
Yep.
But growing up, it was an emu. Moo is in the
Yeah.
noise a cow makes.
Yeah, no, I heard Homer Simpson say that. Emu farm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's, tomato.
My partner hangs shit on
Really?
me about that. Yeah, she
I
loves
don't think
that.
that's that big of a deal, to be honest with you, man.
She loves that one.
Really?
Yeah, she
It does sound kind of funny, but it's not that bad.
emu. It's not a cow.
Yeah, true. Good point. Yeah. Anything else like that you've found?
Not I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Actually, no, there is another one. Here we say maroon, the colour.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say maroon. OON. Oon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like
Maroon.
Maroon 5.
Yeah. Not maroon. Yeah.
Now I'm confused about the band name. Is it Maroon or Maroon? What do they mean by it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that'd happen. Where else have you travelled?
Denmark. And travelled in Africa. Went to the States for a very short trip for work.
For work.
Yeah.
Cool. Whereabouts in the States did you go?
Santa Barbara.
Oh, cool. Nice.
So someone else was supposed to go.
Yep.
And then something happened. He couldn't. My boss was like, "Have you got a passport?"
Like, hell yeah.
No, I don't.
Oh, really?
So he said, "Fine, get your ass to Melbourne, get a passport now."
Yep.
So
Cool. So how long before, like, once they gave you notice, did you have to up and go?
It was very quick, like weeks,
Yeah, okay.
couple of weeks.
Yep.
Like we paid for the express passport delivery to, like, that's how short a time I had.
Yeah, wow.
So
Cool. Get any spare time there?
they offered it, but I didn't take it up.
Okay.
I went, did the job. I think I had like one day before and one day after, like, in town.
Yep.
In Santa Barbara, and I kind of stayed with not stayed with. We stayed in a hotel, but the people that we did the training with for work.
Yep.
On the day after, they're like, "Yeah, come with us. We're
I showed you around.
doing a big thing. Yeah, had lunch, showed us around. So
Cool.
yeah, that was
How long
good.
ago was that?
Oh, years ago, like 7 years ago.
Yeah, right.
No, probably longer. I think Yep. A long time.
Yeah, cool.
So that was cool. I did the same. Went around Australia to all the capital cities
See, I haven't done that.
for work. So
Yep.
you have like a day before and after.
Yeah, cool. Most I've seen is Melbourne and Sydney.
Yep.
And all I've seen of Sydney was a hotel room, a stage in a hotel room. Did a little bit of a walk around and then during the day and come home.
Yeah, Sydney. I got to walk around one of the bays.
Yep.
I can't remember what it's called. So they've got a wooden ship
Oh, yeah.
anchored there in the bay.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then Brisbane. I went to Brisbane, and they've got the beach on the river.
What?
They've got like a fake beach. They've made a beach alongside the river.
Okay, then.
You don't go into the water, like it's up out of the water. They've got like a little water park.
I'll have to look up.
Yeah.
that.
We went to this awesome Turkish restaurant
Yeah, cool.
just up from it. That was good.
Yep.
Yes.
Denmark, hey?
Yeah, Denmark. I've been there
What's
once.
that like?
It was really cool. I was maybe 14 or something.
Okay.
So my brother lives there. He married.
Oh, right.
His wife is Danish, so
Yep.
he moved there. Married her, moved there. He was running a pub at the time,
Cool. 14, though.
an Irish pub.
Yep.
So we spent a lot of time in pubs.
Yeah.
because we'd go somewhere and he'd like check out the competition. What are they doing? So
Right.
that was good.
Right. Yeah.
That was good. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Everyone there spoke English.
Yeah. Okay.
They learn English at school, so everyone there was fluent in English.
Yep. Cool.
I learned how to say thank you.
Oh, okay.
That's about it in
Right.
Danish.
Yeah. The only thing I learned to say in Spanish when I was in America was, yes, I speak Spanish. That's all I can say. So it's kind of dumb. It's kind of funny, though, because then I can say that and then be like,
Yep.
I don't know. I realized the other night I spent the night in the Bermuda Triangle.
Really?
Didn't even know. And I was watching a doco. I was like, hey.
I've been there.
I've been there.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the doco proceeded to ruin everything about the Bermuda Triangle mysteries for me. So I was like, who gives a fuck? Doesn't matter. Cool story, but sounds cool. But yeah. A lot more places I want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go. The one on my list is the Maldives. I've been talking about it for
bro.
years.
Who doesn't?
I've been talking about it for
It looks
years.
amazing.
And actually, I don't think Jay was too interested in the Maldives, so we were kind of trying to find something that clicked for both of us. So we said Malta.
Oh, yeah, cool, all right. Yeah.
Because we both like historical
I was about to
dig
say,
sites.
yeah,
and
bro.
Yep.
Yeah, you love it. That
jump
case,
on the ferry, go across to Sicily.
Yeah.
And I was
Good weather too.
on the plane. I don't know where I was going. I was on the plane probably from Sydney to Melbourne. And I was sitting next to somebody and he was saying, yeah, no, I've got family there. Here, take this business card when you're there. Look these people up. They'll hook you up.
Mad. That's cool.
So
Brilliant. Gotta love that. Better than who I was sat next to last on a plane. That was interesting. Missionaries.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We had an interesting conversation. How long is that flight, by the way?
Which flight?
Home.
11 hours.
Okay. That's not too bad.
Perth to Joburg.
Right.
You add a bit extra for Sydney to Joburg.
Yeah, right.
It's probably more like 13, I think.
Yep. Yeah, cool.
14.
If somebody was to go to South Africa for the first ever time, where would you suggest they go?
You've got to do the Kruger National Park.
Okay.
Book yourself on a safari tour. You go in like an open back vehicle. Oh, when I say open back, it's got like a tarp over the top, but
The ones you see on Aussie Man when they're getting all fucked up.
Yep. And there's a tracker sitting on the seat over the bonnet.
Mike, sorry. Put that back in there.
Yeah, you got to go to the Kruger Park. The Cape is really beautiful.
Right.
Somewhere that I would really recommend to go is they have a whale festival in a place called Hermanus.
Okay.
Outstanding. Fly into Cape Town, drive along the coast to Hermanus, stay there for a couple of days. We stayed in a hotel right smack on the beachfront. They have like all huge markets and things. There's a guy walking around blowing a kudu horn every time they see a whale.
Oh, okay. So it's whale watching festival.
Yeah, the whales migrate.
Yeah. So at that time, they made a festival out of that time. And
so they give birth somewhere up north on the coast.
Yep.
And then they just migrate. They're on their way through to here.
Oh, okay. Right.
Actually.
Wow. Trippy.
So the whales and their young kind of stop off there and then turn south, head out across the ocean.
That's a long trip.
So, yeah, that was awesome. It's just such a picturesque part of the world.
Nice.
And Cape Town's got so much you can do.
Yep.
If you're into wine, they've got there's a wine region there. You can go up Table Mountain, catch the cable car up the mountain.
Yeah, cool.
Go across to Robben Island if you're into that sort of thing.
Yep.
Bit of cultural history. So,
and
Drakensberg Mountains in the Midlands, in my part of the world, in Natal.
Yeah, okay.
Lots of like little hobby shops, like little knick-knack shops. They call it the Midlands Meander.
Right.
If you're into trout fishing, you go trout fishing in the Drakensberg Mountains.
Crazy.
Hiking, good hiking there.
Yeah, nice. What are the don'ts?
Got to be very security conscious. I would say go with a group.
Okay.
Like go on a tour. If you haven't been there before, if you're not hooking up with the locals there, then go on a tour. Just security conscious. You don't flash your money around in public. Don't put your purse like behind you. You carry your purse in front of you.
Yep.
rings and golden jewelry, expensive watches, that kind of thing. You don't flash
be a
that around.
target.
Yeah, don't be a target. Yeah, that's a good way to sum it all up. Don't be a target.
Yep. A little bit of common sense.
Yeah.
So you should be doing that when you travel a lot anyway.
Like there's some pretty shifty areas in Melbourne and Sydney.
Oh, 100%. Everywhere you go.
Just treat the whole world outside of Australia like a really shifty area of Melbourne or Sydney.
Right. Yeah. I fortunately haven't been to that many shady spots.
Yep.
Like in Thailand, the shady spots come and go pretty quickly. Like, you know what I mean? They're pretty patchy everywhere.
I love what Charlie said the other day, going out to a gym. He thought he was being kidnapped, just being driven out into the jungle.
100%, man. It's a weird place. It's a fun place, but it's a weird place. You got to be pretty careful there, I guess. It just sucks when you go to a country and they're like plotting and scheming in front of you, and you're just like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This could be so bad. You know, every time I've traveled by myself.
Yep.
Only because you can do whatever the hell you want, I guess, that way. In the States, I met up with friends there.
Yep.
But yeah.
You talk about language stuff. I was in a restaurant in the States, and I said to the waiter, "Can I have another serviette, please?" He was like, "What? Can I have another serviette, please?" And like he started to panic, and I started to panic, and this lady from the table behind us leaned over and said, "Hun, I think you mean napkin."
Of course.
But like the waiter and I just had this
weird, awkward, does not compute.
And I did the typical tourist thing. I said it slower and louder. Serviette.
Yeah, no. At least that person knew what you were talking about.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's a start. Yeah, man, I sucked. When I got to America, I apparently like shortchanged some dude on a tip real fucking bad. I had no idea what I was doing. Dude next to me at the bar goes, "You just screwed him so bad." I was like, "Did I? Shit, dude, sorry. I made up for it." But yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. The whole time I didn't get it.
Well, we don't tip here.
Yeah, no, of course not.
We do in South Africa. It's 10.
Oh, you do?
It's 10%.
But it's like comment, like it's...
Yeah, it's like 10, 15%, whatever. But then in the States, you give someone 10%. That's basically saying you've given me really bad service. You don't tip 10%.
That's yeah. I didn't know what I was...
So that was interesting. And
I was really shit.
Yeah.
That. Well. That's some weird shit in America, man. Pizzas, like I was talking about before.
Yep.
I'm not kidding, man. I think Colton, if you listen to this, next time you come and see me, or at least take a photo. I know you kept the menu from the hotel where we ordered that pizza. So if you're listening, take a photo of that shit, send it to me. Like the flavors of pizza. One of them was white. That's the flavor.
Yep.
Like white. That's all it said. It didn't know the description of what it was and nothing. It was the weirdest shit ever. I thought this like America is where they killed it with pizza, and it wasn't very good.
Weird.
Yeah, it just wasn't very good, and basic.
My in-laws said that about pizza in Italy too.
Really?
Yeah, they not that they didn't enjoy it, but just that it was different.
Like 100%.
Like we do heaps of cheese on top. Like we smother the thing in ingredients.
They're like minimalist with their pizza over there.
Yeah.
But apparently it's freaking amazing.
Yep. They still said they enjoyed it, but when it arrived on the plate, they were like, "What is this? Where's the rest of my pizza?"
Yeah. Fully, that would be strange. Luckily, I knew that. I didn't know that about America though.
Okay.
And you kind of have like one topping.
Okay. Yep.
Per choice, like there's just a pepperoni pizza. That's pretty much all it's on it.
Right.
And order a pizza that just says white. No, I'm not getting that. Yeah, just weird. I need to travel again more. Thailand was cool. Phuket, obviously a lot of people spoke English there, so it was pretty easy.
Yep.
Then Bangkok was a bit weird. It's the most visited city in the world, so it's pretty, whitey friendly, if you will.
Yep.
But it's it's just really different from Phuket. Completely different. Like if you're going for the typical holiday that you see on everywhere, the beach and all the little stores and this and that. Phuket. But I was told to go to Bangkok if you wanted a real Muay Thai training.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I went to Bangkok instead. That shit's crazy. That city is nuts. So just watch Hangover.
Too many people are claustrophobic.
Yeah, it's
I need wide open spaces.
Yeah, that's what I do like as well. So that's what I mean. It was pretty full on. America, I think I found pretty much the same thing. It was pretty just, man, you couldn't catch a break anywhere. That's why our cruise was good. And actually, the first day that we arrived at the island, we didn't get off the boat. Everyone else did.
Okay.
So like, this is fantastic. So just chilling on a cruise boat for pretty much by ourselves for that day. That was good. Yeah. So we went from Miami to like a private island in the Bahamas with like a band. And that was pretty crazy. As far as the language barrier stories, I would tell you some stories, but I can't on here. So I'll tell you those stories another time. But yeah, it gets you in some shady situations.
Yep.
Yeah, not knowing what they're saying. So yeah, I want to go to Japan though. I think Japan would be amazing.
Yeah, we've got someone at work who's really into Japanese culture. He's been there a heap of times.
Yeah.
Got friends over there he keeps in touch with electronically.
Weird. It's like another planet. They're so into their own shit.
He's learning all the kanji, speaks a bit of the language, like
Wow.
enough to get himself in trouble kind of thing. So
yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's full on. I always wanted to learn to speak Thai. I learned about Thai language though that you can say like the same like vowel or whatever in 5 different pitches and it means different things.
Right.
It's almost like a melodic singing style of speaking.
Is it Thailand where they have a heap of different dialects?
Probably.
Yeah. I used to work with...
Depending on what province and all that stuff maybe.
Yeah, I used to work with someone who... I used to do fly-in, fly-out work and like lived over there. I don't know if it was Thailand or maybe the Philippines. I can't remember, but he said, yeah.
I'm pretty sure in the Philippines. You have to ask Evie about that one.
Whichever country he was living in, he just said, yeah, it's not all, they don't all just speak like Thai, for example. There's all different dialects, and people from the north don't like people from the south.
But that's the same everywhere. You go to Ireland and shit, and it's the same thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? The way they speak at the top of the island is different to how they, in Australia.
Yep.
We don't sound like Queenslanders. And we sure as hell don't sound like South Australians. You ask like, hey man, where'd you get that to? What the fuck does that even mean?
Yep.
I've heard someone say it. Where did you get that to? What? Doesn't even make sense. For real. That's what they say.
Someone from New South Wales ordered a beer. He said, I'll have a MIDI.
Another language.
Like, what size is that? That glass. You want that glass? Okay.
Yeah. And there's always been a big debate on scalloped potatoes or potato cakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I learned this when I was working at APCO. I learned all the different things that people call these foods, these fast foods. And, yeah, people would ask me for like scalloped potatoes. I'm like, I fucking wish. From what I know it is, as, and then, none of these things. And then, it's a bloody pain in the ass, to be honest.
When I first saw them, I thought they were hash browns.
Really?
Yeah.
So you'd never seen a potato cake?
No.
Wow.
No, that was something I was educated on when I came here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Anything else? Any little gems you found over here that you're like, oh shit, yeah, this is a business. I'm glad I found that.
Lamingtons?
Yeah.
Lamington's pretty good.
Yeah, sick.
Lamington's pretty good. What else? Jam donuts. The hot jam donuts. Like I had a jam donut before, but in winter, that hot jam donut in winter.
Scalding hot jam in the middle.
Burn your mouth.
Yeah, that's the good shit.
I've never had that before. They're good.
Glad you experienced that. Yeah. Thoughts on Vegemite? Oh, that's some cliche shit, but...
No, you can keep that.
How did you have it, though? That's what I got to...
On toast with butter.
Yeah, how much Vegemite did you put on that shit?
It was heaped on.
Yeah, fuck that.
No?
No way.
Okay.
You are a psychopath if you put that much on.
I didn't make it. It was
that's what I mean. Whoever made it for you, yeah, I'm sorry, but...
Get that in you.
Oh, hell no. No.
No, I
that's where everybody goes wrong with it. You see those celebrities try it and shit, and they're like, dip their thing. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Ugh. No one in their right mind would do that shit. So you got to have a shit ton of butter and just a touch here and there on the toast. That's it.
Right.
Amazing.
I have Bovril. Same thing, but it's made from animals rather than plants.
Oh, okay. Right.
Similar idea, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I need something to die for me to enjoy it. Like an animal has to.
Bill Burr says that in his special. He goes, he tried going veggie like twice a week, and you know what I realized? Something has to die every day for me to live.
That's where I'm getting
That's
it from.
where you're at?
That's where I'm getting.
Yeah,
I'm
excellent.
stealing the joke from him.
Excellent.
You.
But that's where you're at, though,
Yeah.
right? You're that guy?
Yep.
Yep.
Steak.
Right.
Give me steak.
Right. Okay. Yep.
That's nothing against. If you want the kale and the bug burger, please don't let me stand in
Yeah,
your
go
way.
get some help. No, I'm
But-
kidding. Yeah, cool. All right. As far as, all right, I know they're probably all endangered species, so you can't really eat any of them, can you? In South Africa. What could you eat that you just, there's no way you're eating it here?
A lot of the buck.
I'm not talking about like, you know, poaching animals and selling them on the black market type shit.
Yeah, rhino tastes real good. No.
I mean, we eat freaking our coat of arms,
Yeah. Yep.
our emus,
Yep.
and you know.
I've had kangaroos.
Yeah, I've
but
had.
but like I've eaten crocodile,
Okay, and this is what I'm talking about. Right.
biltong. Like biltong made out of, so springbok biltong, kudu biltong.
Oh, okay. So you've eaten all that.
I've eaten them. I've eaten warthog done like on a spit.
Right. So you must get like fucking so hungry when you watch The Lion King. You're like, oh shit, that looks alright.
So joke between me and my dad is he'll send me a picture of a live animal, like
Yep.
just in the game park, like they've just gone there for lunch or something. So he'll send me a picture of an antelope on the side of the road, and he'll just send me the picture of the animal, and underneath in capital letters he'll just say biltong.
That's awesome.
But buffalo, we've had buffalo.
Really?
We did that when we went to Tanzania.
Yep.
And when they were on, so this was in the Serengeti
Oh wow. Okay.
National Park.
Sick.
We went there during the wildebeest migration
Yeah. Wow.
when I was maybe 10.
So you got to see
Like what you see on TV.
Oh, wow.
is what we
Really?
saw.
That's mad.
And we pulled over, and like the spot we pulled over, Dad and I were going like, we have seen that on the documentaries.
Yeah.
You know.
That's mad as.
So
That is so cool.
but I was left behind at the camp with we visited family there.
Yep.
So it was his wife and kids, and so that the men all went hunting, and my dad's cousin, who was an older man he'd worked in the game parks like that.
Okay.
He'd been a game ranger as his career.
Yep.
He was saying to the hunter, "Psst, there's something in the bushes." And the ranger's going, "Shut up. You'll scare the buffalo. Keep quiet." And he's going, "No, seriously, there's something in the bushes." And the game ranger's going, "Shut the hell up, dude." And this leopard came out of the long grass, straight sort of, the way my dad tells, like he was really close, like felt really close. And the hunter, like the guy who lived there, he kind of turned. He had the gun in the crook of his arm. He turned, and as he did that, the leopard's ears went back, and it like teeth came up, and it snarled,
Oh.
and then just turned and ran off into the grass.
Yeah, nah, mate.
So that's, you talk about the story I tell going to the car,
Yeah.
like where we were camping under this tree. The elephants were in the camp.
Whoa.
There's no fence between you and the wildlife.
You get a lot of trouble from elephants?
Oh, you sure? Yeah, absolutely. You can.
Okay.
Do not piss them off.
Yeah.
They wreck vehicles.
Yeah.
You see videos on going around of
seen-
them wrecking vehicles.
Did you know about that batshit story about that woman and that elephant? And that dude,
Don't know.
this elephant, like, internet story. Can't verify whether it's true or not, but apparently this elephant come into this village, found this woman specifically and like trampled her or whatever,
Right.
and then did the same thing and found her funeral and trampled her again.
They are,
Because I know
very
that
smart.
there's always that, you know, they don't forget nothing.
Mm.
You know, that thing. That shit, that's fucking terrifying. If they can keep that much of a grudge and come find you, man, what the hell?
I love
that shit's crazy.
I love the documentary where they're using them to hunt poachers.
Oh, really?
because their sense of smell is incredible.
Yeah, right. They use them to hunt the poachers.
Yeah, so they're like bloodhounds, basically.
Oh, wow.
They can track you over a very, very, very long distance.
Wow.
And the way they
So
set,
there might be some merit to that story then.
yeah, maybe, yeah. The way they set it up was the journalist was put with a poacher, like a game ranger who knows all the tricks.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, the camera crew were with the elephants, and they tracked them down. And the poacher said, like, come on, we'll go this way. There's rocky, stony ground that the elephants can't walk on because it'll hurt their feet.
Right.
So we'll cut across here, take a shortcut. We'll like go through the river, try and hide our scent and everything. But the elephants just like tracked around and caught up with them on the other side.
Wow. Cool. That's awesome.
We did a thing where you go and wake them up. They've got a couple of rescues.
Okay.
And they sleep in a boma. And you go and wake them up and you brush them like you would brush a horse.
Cool.
And then they walk you through all the anatomy, like up close, like you're touching the elephant, like he's like, they've got this ridge of muscle underneath their stomach, and they're like, here, you can feel.
Really?
Opens his mouth, you put your hand on his tongue.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then the elephant gives you a kiss. He just like blows a raspberry on your neck.
That's awesome.
But his trunk wrapped around my neck. And they're feeding them like
crazy.
They're feeding them pellets that look like what you'd feed a rabbit.
Really?
And the elephant like would hit the keeper in the chest, like knock him on the pocket.
Yeah, like give some of that shit.
Yeah. You know what I want. Give it up.
That is so cool.
Yep.
Super smart, huh?
Very smart.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Fuck poachers.
Absolutely.
Dick bags. But yeah, that is amazing. What an experience.
I think probably hands down my favourite was, again, at a rescue place. They had an orphaned rhino.
Oh, okay.
And it was just kind of milling around with the crowd. People were like patting it, and it lay down.
Did you pat it?
Yeah.
What's that feel like? It's
it's just like coarse leather, like really rough. There's not much movement in it, but it sat down. It was like on its side. My dad scratched its belly.
Cool.
And the back leg started going like a dog.
No.
Yep.
Really? I got a rhino.
I've got a picture of my dad with the smile on his face. He was just...
That's so good, man.
So stoked.
Wow. Watch me get a leg going.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
But the second time we went back, they had another orphan. They wouldn't let him near the crowd because they said that there are some diseases that are communicable from people to rhino. So they didn't want him getting amongst people and getting sick.
Yep.
But
dirty people.
They have to be with their keeper 24/7.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they stress and die.
Whoa.
Elephants.
I've heard that. No, I've heard that. Yeah. They have like the one person who looks after them throughout their entire life.
Yeah.
Right?
Until they're like weaned off.
Yeah.
My dad's cousin, I said, was a ranger, did a lot of animal relocation.
Yeah, right. Cool.
And when they transport the rhino in a container, like a shipping container, they have to have them facing each other, but like with the bar separating them, but facing each other. If they can't see each other, again, in transit, they'll just stress out and die.
They just die?
Yeah. They just stress.
Wow.
They just stress so much. It's like leaving your dog at home. You've heard of dog anxiety.
Yeah.
It's like that amped up. It's really
crazy.
full on.
Crazy. Wonder why they get so crazy about. Yeah.
They just, I guess, don't understand.
Yeah. That is so weird. No wonder there's like between them and poachers.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Huh. There you go. I've been educated today by quite a bit.
So next time you're transporting your rhino, make sure they're facing each other.
Sure.
That's really, really important to know here in Australia.
That's what we've learned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Making sure your rhinos face each other. You heard it here on the Bairnsdale MMA podcast.
That's it.
Woo. Yeah. Didn't think I'd learn that today. Strange. Anyway, it has been about an hour and a half now, so I think we might wrap it up, but no doubt we're going to do this again a few times.
I can talk shit for ages, man.
Man, I can listen. Yeah, I got a lot of interesting stuff to say. Okay, yeah. Next time I'll have my questions and the things I wanted to touch on. Not in the device I'm recording with.
Yep.
So I can actually use it. And after hearing that a lot of that stuff, actually, I'm pretty sure I'll come up with a lot more questions now, a lot more things I want to ask, and I'll even try some of that food between now and the next time.
If you can get Cook Sisters, they're just the best.
I'll have a crack cooking some of this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll send you a picture of the recipe.
Yeah, cool.
We've got a little booklet.
I had no idea so much of our podcast would end up about food and cooking today.
This isn't a mixed martial arts podcast.
Absolutely. Well, no, not necessarily. It's just about the students. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just about meeting people and getting to know them a bit more and whatever. So,
see, this is more.
I love food though.
This is more about what happens after the class.
Yeah.
You go home and smash lots of food.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah. You want some different stuff to go home and eat after. Is any of it like obviously not the deep fried in golden syrup, but healthy meals that are kind of unique to, with ingredients and whatnot that you think.
Well, I mean, in moderation, they're all healthy.
Yeah, I guess, except for the deep fried golden syrup.
In moderate, like you have, if you can restrict yourself to just one,
if you can find anyone in the know that says that's healthy in any way, then I'll agree with you.
I'll find someone.
I'm sure
on the internet. I'll find someone.
Dr. Nick.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Yeah. No, that sounds amazing though. I want to try that shit. And we should go to Melbourne one time and find a place that we can go eat some crazy South African food.
And the medical profession can't make up their mind. A few years ago, smoking was good for you. Now it's not. It'll be good for you again.
A few years ago.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, well, ain't that the truth? They're learning a lot of interesting things lately too.
That's why we call it practicing medicine.
Just a practice.
It's just practice.
Yeah. You're allowed to make mistakes when you practice.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Like say that shit is healthy. Oops. Yeah. Nah. All right, we're going to rock and roll, man. I have got to organise myself for classes anyway.
Cool.
Thanks heaps.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Been awesome. We'll do it again soon.
Sounds
absolutely. Good. And I'll see you in class.
Yeah, see you in
very soon.
Like in an hour.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.